What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. I have not done one of these videos in my series in quite a while. I wanted to get back into the swing of things and do some more of these. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Man cannot live on horror alone. This is another section of my non-horror collection. I feel like that could have probably been presented better. As I always do, let me start off by saying that I hope everybody out there is doing well and staying safe. Alright, so first up, we left off the last time, I think the last time I did one of these was about 2.5, 3 months ago for my non-horror collection. And I know we left off with Blade Runner. So starting off this time, we are looking at the Blade Runner. I don't think this is a remake. Isn't this like a prequel or a sequel? I'm not even sure exactly what this is. But Blade Runner 2049. I have not watched this yet. One of these days I'm going to get to this thing. I actually want to sit down and watch Blade Runner again. It's been so long since I've seen Blade Runner. I saw Blade Runner on like Cinemax when it was released on cable back in the early 80s when it came out. And that's the last time I saw it. Alright, with answers come questions. 30 years after the events of the first film, so it's been probably around, if it's been 30 years since this was, it's probably been 35 years since I've seen Blade Runner. A new Blade Runner, LAPD Officer K, unearths a long-buried secret that has the potential to plunge what's left of society into chaos. K's discovery leads him on a quest to find Rick Deckard, which is Harrison Ford's character from the original film. A former LAPD Blade Runner who has been missing for decades. The hunt for the truth begins in this follow-up to one of the most visually spectacular films in cinematic history. I actually heard that this movie was pretty damn good, so one of these days I am going to sit down. I'm going to sit down and watch both of them. I don't think I'm going to watch just one of them, because I don't remember the first one well enough to watch the second one yet. And I have a feeling after I watch the first one, I'm going to want to watch the second one. Alright, next up we have Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side. I remember when this came out too, it was everywhere. The actual woman that this was based on was everywhere. Michael Orr, the football player, I think he played for the Ravens at the time. His name was all over the place. This was pretty good. I'm not going to read the back of this. It's kind of lengthy, and it's very early. But you get the gist. This is a football movie. She took this kid in, took him out of a bad situation, helped to turn his life around, and he made it to the NFL. That's what that is. But it is a pretty good movie. Next up was something that I found to be absolutely hilarious. Blockers with John Cena. Who else is in this movie? That chick that I can't remember her name. This movie's wonderful. Blah, 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 blah. Ike Barinholtz, Leslie Mann. From the producers who brought you Neighbors and This Is the End comes the outrageous comedy Blockers, when three parents, John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike Barinholtz, stumble upon their daughter's pact to lose their virginity at prom. They launch a covert one-night operation to stop the teens from sealing the deal. This was really, really funny. If you haven't seen this movie, you should check this out. Absolutely wonderful. John Cena has made himself a pretty decent little career as an actor after he has, well, they say he retired from the WWE, but I don't think wrestlers actually really ever retire. Alright, next up. This is one that I have seen, and it was very, very good, but it's been a long time since I watched it. Blow, with Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz. This was really, really good. He was like a drug lord, if I remember correctly. Based on the true story, Blow chronicles the high-speed rise and fall of George Jung, who became the largest importer of Colombian cocaine into the United States, forever changing the face of drugs in America. Good job, pal. Set in the decade of the 70s and 80s, set in the decadent 70s and 80s, Blow traces George Jung's partnership with Pablo Escobar, one of the most infamous and dangerous drug lords in history. That character, now that dude I was aware of. The Jung dude I was not. Ray Liotta, Penelope Cruz, and Paul Rubens also star in this riveting film. Paul Reubens is in this movie. I forgot about that. Check him out. If you don't know who Paul Reubens is, I bet you know who Pee Wee Herman is. I forgot he was in this movie. I completely forgot about it. And I think he was like a real deviant dude in that movie. It's a good movie. Check it out. In my opinion, one of Johnny Depp's better movies. But Johnny Depp's good in everything he does. He's just really freaking weird. But that is to his benefit. Very talented actor. I like Johnny Depp quite a bit. All right, next up, everybody knows this movie. The Blues Brothers. Jake and Elwood Blue. Fantastic. Running from the law. I don't even know what to say to sum this movie up. This is a great movie. The Blues Brothers 20th, doesn't matter what the edition is. Comedy icons John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd star in this outrageously funny musical comedy about Jake and Elwood Blues. Two brothers searching for redemption with no money but a briefcase full of soul. Hit the road with musical performances by blues legends Ray Charles, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, and Cab Calloway in this action-packed spectacular from the acclaimed director John Landis. So, this was the movie, I don't remember, I think he did Animal House, The Blues Brothers, and then American Werewolf in London. What year is this? This is 1980. I think Animal House was late 70s, 79, Animal House? 80? 78? Who the hell knows? This was made around the same time as Animal House, and then he made American Werewolf in London and American Werewolf in London. All right, next up, Bohemian Rhapsody. I absolutely love this movie. I thought this was fantastic. What the heck was this kid's name? Rami Malek. He won like everything under the stars the year that this thing came out, as far as awards go and award ceremonies. Back when we actually had those. I think they do it now, but like it's virtual. That who gives a shit? This was cool. This is basically just the life story of Freddie Mercury. Not the life story. The story of Freddie Mercury becoming a member of Queen, and this documents his career in Queen and out of Queen. This is really, really good. If you haven't seen this, I have to assume you've seen this. Check out that movie. Great movie. Next up, this is another one that I really liked a lot. The Book of Eli. I don't have to have this on. I don't have it on Blu-ray. I'm kind of surprised. Denzel's my favorite actor, and I love this movie. I'm surprised I don't have this on Blu-ray. You know what? I don't have a lot of his movies on Blu-ray. This is awesome. I'm not reading the back of this. This dude's walking the earth carrying a document. I'm not going to say what the document is. I'm not going to say anything in particular about Denzel's character because it'll give away the ending of the. I'll put it this way: it's a very, very good movie. It's very action-packed. Gary Oldman's in it, and he's awesome too. And the ending surprised the hell out of me. Very, very good. Here's one that a ton of people have watched that I've seen. A lot of people have told me about, but I ain't watched it yet. The Boondock Saints. I know that this is... What the hell's the dude's name from The Walking Dead? My mind just went blank. Daryl Dixon's character. Well, the guy who plays Daryl Dixon. Wow, my mind is going blank. I know him and I love him. Norman Reedus. Jesus Christ. A cult phenomenon becomes a spectacular Blu-ray experience. Heart-pounding and graphic, this action-packed film pits FBI agent Paul Smecker against a pair of Irish brothers out to rid the world of evil, starting with the Russian mob. But as the brothers brutally take on Boston's underworld, Smecker finds himself torn between busting the vigilantes and joining them. This, from what I've heard, is really, really good. It's Norman Reedus, and the other dude is Sean Patrick Flannery. He's the dude that was in the TV show The Dead Zone, if I'm not mistaken, with Anthony Michael Hall. I'm pretty sure that's who he is. He was also in one of the Saw movies. All right, I think he was like an evangelist in Saw, if I remember correctly. All right, next up, this was also really funny. Pardon me, parched. Borat. This movie, I have not watched. Also, this is another one I haven't watched in many years. And I haven't watched the new one yet on Amazon. I have not watched it yet, which is quite surprising, to be honest with you. I don't remember a lot of the details of this movie, but I remember there being a couple scenes in this movie that literally had me like gasping for air and crying. Sacha Baron Cohen, the star and creator of HBO's wildly popular The Ali G Show, brings his truly original Kazakh character Borat, I'm not even going to say that last name, to the big screen for the first time. Sagdiek? Whatever, that's about as good as it gets. With a camera crew in tow and armed with a jar of gypsy tears for protection, Kazakhstan's fourth most famous celebrity travels to the United States and to make a documentary. To the US and to make a documentary. As he zigzags across the country, lovable Borat meets real people in real situations with hilarious consequences. In this fall on your face, pee your pants, screaming riot. This movie's hilarious. This dude, Sacha Baron Cohen, is completely... He's got balls of steel, and he's completely out of his mind. That movie's funny as hell. And on to the not-so-funny, Bowling for Columbine. This documents the high school shooting. Where was that? Obviously Columbine. Was that Colorado? I don't remember exactly where that was. But this is pretty eye-opening. It's disturbing. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about this one. This is an interesting movie if you like documentaries. I'll leave it at that. I like Michael Moore. I like his work a lot. This one is a little bit tough. Alright, next up. Here's one that I'm actually quite surprised that I don't have on Blu-ray too, because I love this movie. Boys in the Hood. This is a spectacular movie. I believe this is Ice Cube's acting debut, if I'm not mistaken. Because I kind of remember being surprised to see him in a movie when this came out. This is very, very good. And this is the story of... That's Ricky. And that is Trey. And that is Doughboy, if I remember correctly. And Ricky and Doughboy are brothers. Trey's getting ready to go to college. Ricky's trying to get into college. Doughboy is a scumbag. This movie's really good. He's not a scumbag. He's a product of his environment. I'll put it that way. Very, very good movie. John Singleton directed this film. Very good. Morris Chestnut, and Lawrence Fishburne. Really good. Check it out. It's a story of growing up in South Central LA. Alright. Next up, another one that I have to assume that everybody out there has seen. The Breakfast Club, except for you younger kids. And you younger kids who haven't seen The Breakfast Club, watch The Breakfast Club. Something tells me high school might be quite different now than it was then, but this is what high school was like when I was in high school. This is great. John Hughes film. Just a wonderful movie. They were 5 students with nothing in common, faced with spending a Saturday detention together in their high school library at 7 a.m. In their high school library. At 7 a.m., they had nothing to say, but by 4 p.m., they had bared their souls to each other and become good friends. John Hughes, creator of critically acclaimed 16 Candles, wrote, directed, and produced this hilarious and often touching comedy starring Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, disgusting, and Ali Sheedy. To the outside world, they were simply the jock, the brain, the criminal, the princess, and the kook, but to each other, they would always be The Breakfast Club. Check that flick out if you haven't seen it, but you've seen it. Alright, next up is one that I think I watched this with my wife. This definitely belongs to my wife. The Breakup. But I like a rom-com. I like a good rom-com. I mean, nothing wrong with a good rom-com. And Vince Vaughn is friggin' hilarious. All except for the remake of Psycho. He can skip right over. He can like etch that out of his career. Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston star in this charming and unpredictable comedy, The Breakup. After 2 years together, Gary and Brooke's relationship seems to have taken a comical wrong turn on the way to happily ever after. Now the breakup is on. Blah, 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 blah. The lines have been drawn, and their honest feelings for each other are coming out. Get ready for an all-out war of the exes in this fun date movie that's hilarious and heartfelt. I think... Well, I have to assume this was good, because I don't remember... I'm not, like, cowering at this thing, but I don't really remember this movie all that well. But I do know that I like Vince Vaughn. And Jennifer Aniston's alright. These next two I'll do together because they're really not movies. Two Jim Brewer comedy albums, and the tickets are in there. Those are tickets from when I went to the House of Blues. Oh, there you go. The House of Blues, and saw him in Atlantic City. He was actually the second night that the House of Blues was open in Atlantic City. He was there, and so was I. Hilarious dude. Used to be on Saturday Night Live. Probably most famous for his character Goat Boy. He was in Half Baked. Jim Brewer's just a funny dude. He had a radio show on Sirius XM's Raw Dog that I used to listen to back when I worked in the corporate world on my way home from work every day. I listened to Jim Brewer. He's great. All right, next up is another hilarious movie, Brewers Millions. This is fantastic. I don't remember exactly what the catch was, but I know Richard Pryor had to spend a ridiculous amount of money, but he couldn't just give it away. And John Candy is more or less... I think, wasn't Richard Pryor like an old pitcher? Like a retired pitcher? Let's see. Richard Pryor is Montgomery Brewster, a minor league baseball pitcher who discovers he has to blow $30 million in 30 days as a condition to inherit a much greater fortune. Here's the catch. He will forfeit everything if he reveals to a soul the reason that he seems to be throwing away all of his money. With the help of his pal Spike, which is John Candy, they set off on a frantic spending spree, the likes of which would bring any self-respecting accountant to his knees. This movie's fantastic. If you have not seen this movie, check this out. It's wonderful. Richard Pryor is comedy gold. He's a comedy legend. And in my opinion, John Candy's one of the funniest people who has ever walked the earth. Great movie. All right, next up. This is another movie that I found to be absolutely hilarious. Bridesmaids. This is Judd Apatow. Just wonderful movie. This chick's getting ready to get married. This is her best friend. They have a falling out because of that chick on the end. What's her name? Rose something in it. Who the hell cares? But this movie's great. Melissa McCarthy's character in this movie had me literally almost throwing up laughing a couple times. There's a scene where they go out to lunch and then they go try on dresses, wedding dresses and bridesmaids dresses. And one of the funniest things that I've seen in many, many years. It's wonderful. Check out Bridesmaids if you haven't seen it. It's really, really good. And the last one this week is Bright Lights, Big City. This is Michael J. Fox, Kiefer Sutherland, and what the hell was that girl's name? Phoebe Cates. She's the best known for Gremlins and wearing a red bikini in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I remember that scene very well. But I've never seen this movie. This is my wife's. And that's a whole lot of writing on the back that I don't feel like reading, but being as this is the last one, we're going to do it. Michael J. Fox just couldn't be better in this wildly effective... There's a lot of parentheses in this. In this wildly effective, truly powerful picture. Co-starring Kiefer Sutherland, Phoebe Cates, Diane Weist, Diane, and Swoozie Kurtz. There's a chick in this movie named Swoozie Kurtz. Look who the hell that is. And featuring a pulsating soundtrack from New Order, Depeche Mode, and Prince, this chronicle of wasted days and misplaced nights is a must-see. Jamie Conway, which is Michael J. Fox, is an aspiring writer who trades the wheat fields of Kansas for the imposing skyline of Manhattan and the seductive party culture hidden within. This is awful trying to read this. It's black lettering on a purple background. When Jamie hits the club scene to enliven, that's a new word for John, enliven his nights and deaden his pain, he takes it to the limit until the limit threatens to take away everything and everyone he's ever loved. I hope the movie's better than the design of the back of that cover, because that was very difficult for me to read. Either that, or I'm just blind. Whatever. Got a college degree. Can't read the back of a DVD sometimes. Alright, so I've never seen that movie, and I don't know that I ever will. I don't know. Michael J. Fox, he was perfectly fine in Back to the Future and Teen Wolf, and I loved Family Ties, but Bright Lights in Big City, I probably don't need that in my life. So that's it for this week, or for this episode of this series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want me to watch any of those movies that I mentioned that I hadn't seen, and maybe throw them in a what I watched video and talk about them a little bit, just let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see what I can do. Alright, I'm going to get out of here. It's early, and I actually got to go get ready for work. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. Later, folks. Have a great weekend.